Welcome, dear students, to the second part of our lesson, The Little Girl, the third part of the lesson English of Beehive. We'll continue from that. The father, when he is angry and beating with a scale to her daughter. Now, the eighth paragraph will start from hours later, when a grandmother had wrapped her in the shawl and rocked her in the rocking chair, the child clung to her soft body. So, as you know, the grandmother always is being loving to the grandchildren, and the girl's grandchildren is helping the uh, daughter, granddaughter to feel at ease. So she's rocking and putting it on a shawl, in a shawl and rocking her in the rocking chair. What did God make fathers for? She sobbed, sobbing, crying very bitterly and feeling very bad that how why did God made fathers? Father, why should God is made? He is a clean hanky, darling. Blow your nose, go to sleep, pet. You will forget all about it in the morning. सुबह तक सब भूल जाएगी and sleep now. Take this hanky, blow your nose, and forget all things. I tried to explain to father, but he was too upset to listen tonight. I tried to explain your father, but he is not understanding you. But the child never forgot. Next time she saw him, she quickly put both hands behind her back and a red color blew into her cheeks. So the next time also she feels that I might be given the beating by my father. So she tries to get it away, and behind, at the back she puts her hand and her cheeks become red, out of fear. The McDonald's lived next door, the surname McDonald, and these McDonald's were the next door. They had five children. Looking through a gap of the fence, the little girl saw them playing tag in the evening. Tag is a game that the father was playing with the children. The father with the baby Ma on his shoulders, two little girls hanging on his coat pockets. Round and round the flower beds, shaking with laughter. Once she saw the boys turn the hose on him. Hose on him. No, hose means the pipe with which the garden is watered. That hose pipe is put on his father. His father becomes wet, and he tried to catch them laughing all the time. He doesn't get angry. The child made a prank, and he got the father wet. Then also he didn't get angry. Suddenly one day, mother became ill, and she and grandmother went to the hospital, the little girl's house. The little girl was left alone in the house with Alice, the cook. That was all thing in the daytime. It was all right in the daytime. Daytime it was okay. But while Alice was putting her to bed, she knew she grew suddenly afraid. Oh, today there is no grandmother, and my mother is also not there in the house. And my father, if he's angry again, and he will try to scold me or beat me because of some reason, then who will be there to take care of me? You'll do. I'll do if I have a what I'll do if I have a nightmare. Nightmare means bura sapna ana. And she asked, I often have nightmares, and then Granny takes me into her bed. No, my granny takes me into a bed when I'm alone and getting at night these nightmares. I feel I shout, or I wake up, or I start behaving awkwardly at the time my grandmother takes me. It all gets whispery. I whisper things, which I fear. Out of fear, you have a nightmare. Then you must go to sleep, child, said Alice, putting off all her socks. And don't you scream and wake your poor pa. So now don't scream or shout or like that, so the father will get disturbed and he might get angry. But the same old nightmare came. The butcher with a knife and a rope who came nearer and nearer, smiling and dreadful smile. Here, the nightmare again is there. The butcher, butcher means the person who kills the animals, for the flesh, the butcher. He sells meat. And while she could not move, that type of, getting nearer, you imagine with a rope tying the animal and trying to cut like that nightmare she's having. Grandma, grandma. She woke shivering to see father beside a bed, a candle in his hand. But that this time it was a candle, not a knife to kill her. What's the matter? She said. Oh, a butcher, a knife. I want granny. He blew out the candle, went down and caught up the child in his arms. It was a candle, dear. It's not a. I'm not a butcher. And he holds her, the little girl in his hands and arms, carrying her along the passage to a big bedroom. See, he wants to, make her comfortable. Father, after all, the fatherly love is there. A newspaper was on the bed. He put away the newspaper, the paper. Paper was put away, so that it doesn't come in the way of a sleep, the bed. Then carefully tucked up the child. Nice sleeps, may make her sleep out there. He lay down beside her, and there he slept beside that small girl. Here, the fatherly love. Maybe he is also aware. When a parents they have bad behavior with their wards or the children at that time, they also feel bad at that time. They try to make things again normal by showing their love and affection again, and even sometimes saying sorry or for that what they have done. So here also maybe the same type of feeling this father is having, and when the little child was beaten by him, maybe it hurts him now, and the child is also having the nightmare. That thing is portrayed over here, and therefore the writer Catherine Mansfield, here wants to say that the father's love for the daughter has intensified to such an extent that now instead of scolding, he's trying to, in the absence of the mother, her mother, he's trying to comfort her. Half asleep, still with the butcher's smile all about her, it seemed she crept close to him out of fear. Butcher is coming in as a nightmare, and then she is trying to get closer to her father, crept close to him, snugged her head under his arm, saving her face from that butcher who is in the nightmare, held tightly to his shirt and catching his shirt, so that that shows that she's very afraid of that nightmare, in the form of that butcher coming with her towards her. Then the dark did not matter. She lay still. Here, rub your feet against my legs and get that warmth, said father. The fatherly love, he shows that it is very cold outside. You can rub your feet with my legs and get the warmth. Tired out, he slept beside the little girl. A funny feeling came over her. Poor father, not so big after all. Now she realizes, father, he's not a very, you can say earlier she was feeling that he's giant. He's no more a giant. He's such a warm person. It was harder than he was harder than grandmother, but it was a nice hardness. And every day he had to work and was too tired to be a Mr. McDonald. Here the comparison with the previous page we have seen the father playing. Maybe some fathers are very free all the time because of some schedule of business which is flexible, and some parents and some fathers have a very difficult time to manage the whole day, and therefore they are not able to get time for the children. And same thing is experienced now or understood now by the little girl. She feels that just like the McDonald's, I cannot, because I am my father cannot play with me because of some reason, but the McDonald's next to my house, they are able to, because the father is free. Maybe my father is busy and he cannot. So she reconciles with her. She had torn up all his beautiful writing. She stirred this suddenly and sighed. What's the matter? Asked her father. Another dream? Oh, said little girl, my head's on your heart. I can hear it going. I can hear the heartbeats of your mother. I'm not, I don't have any problem now. There is no another dream what you're asking for. What a big heart you have got, father, dear. So, very inspirational and emotional type of the story goes here, and the lesson gives a very important message that when your parents deal with you, maybe they are little bit harsh in their attitude, maybe they are having some problems which you don't understand at your age, and they get angry on you, they get terrified on you for reasons which you don't understand, and that misunderstanding takes place many times, which is obvious, because of the generation gap, the age related gap is there. You don't understand your parents doesn't understand you, and then that misunderstanding takes place. So whenever your parents get angry, don't take it very seriously or serious in the way that take it to heart and take any action which is against which will be harmful, or to the family. Many children have done that. Many children do suicide, and even recently in papers also we see newspapers or in media that parents don't buy mobile for the children, or a small gadget which they want, and out of anger that I'm not being taken care of, or thing which I need, I'm not being you know supplied for. So that time some rash decisions are taken by children. That should not happen. Maybe there is some financial crunch, or maybe because of that reason your parents cannot afford at that particular time, so they might not have getting you that doesn't mean that if they have neglected you, or they want you not to ask for that. Or maybe they are also at fault for not telling you the fact that we are not in a position to buy in a soft way, or maybe as this father of this little girl, she is getting reprimanded because of his father is being very busy, and that day the paper was lost, which was important for him. That is why that anger arose, and maybe your parents also at that time does. So for you children, it's very important that you understand your parents, and this is a younger child, but maybe you might also at this stage facing some problem with your parents. At that time you have to understand them, not react in the same way as they feel angry. You don't get angry, or do not show your anger because of the misunderstanding. Try to analyze the situation and try to adjust to whatever your parents want to say. Maybe you might be wrong, or you might get a solution to your problem, but don't try to misunderstand and get into trouble, you and your family members as well. So this is a very important lesson. So we have completed the lesson, a very moral giving lesson this was. And From this lesson, the textual exercise and the extra matter which is there, you'll have right in your fair book. See you in the next lesson. Till then, goodbye.